The day that this video drops is my 30th birthday. How friggin' wild. I have 3 decades under my belt now, so I thought I'd use this video to drop some wisdom on you since I'm wise now, clearly. This video is going to be pretty chill. I'm just going to be talking to you. I have a list of things that I've learned, and I'm just going to kind of read them off, but also dive into each of them a little bit. So grab some tea, grab some coffee, sit back, relax, maybe listen to this on your commute, because I think it's going to be a long one. But hopefully you hear something that resonates. If you do, let me know in the comments. Or if you simply just want to give me some kind of advice moving forward as I exceed beyond the age of 30, I'd appreciate that too. So here it goes. Let's jump into number 1. Number 1 is change starts with your thoughts, but manifests through actions. So I think this is kind of self-explanatory, but essentially, if you have a negative mindset, change isn't going to happen. So change begins when you start reframing your mindset, but it really, truly manifests when you start taking actions towards things. You can have the most positive mindset in the world, but if you're not doing anything towards your goals or doing anything towards change, then nothing's going to change. Number 2, you are never truly stuck in life. Sometimes it just takes some blowing up. As I've gotten older, something I've realized is you're never truly stuck. And sometimes it might take just making a huge change and taking a leap of faith to get out of whatever rut you're in. But you are never really stuck. Even if you feel like it, even if your circumstances are different than mine, where you're like, I have a kid to take care of, I can't just make any crazy moves and stuff like that. Yeah, that might be true, but it doesn't mean that you can't make a move at all. And there's always something that you can do towards a change, whether that be applying to a new job while you're currently holding the job that you have and kind of just going all in with a new career path or something like that. So you're never truly stuck in life. You are in control. Number 3, you can't force the people around you to better themselves. You can't really force the people around you to adopt your beliefs or to adopt your practices. And when you're on your own personal development journey, there might be things that you come across that are freaking awesome. You might start doing things that are improving your life, and you might want to share those things with others, but others aren't always going to be receptive. And even though these things could help them, you can only lead a horse to water, but you can't get them to drink, you know? And sometimes you just got to accept that. You can't be pushy about it, and you got to let people figure out things on their own time. And the only way that someone's really going to want to better themselves is if they internally come to that decision themselves. Okay, so number 4, sleep is extremely important, and investing in a good pillow is smart. So I don't know if it's just because I hate saying this, but like my body hurts a little bit more as I'm getting older. And I think I've like put some stress on my shoulders and neck after being in front of a computer for years. And something I've learned is investing in a nice pillow is a really smart investment. And yeah, that's just something I gotta throw out there. Maybe start early if you're not 30 yet. And if you are over 30 and you don't have a nice pillow, what you doing? Like sleep is like one of the most important things, along with hydration, you know? And next, number 5, stretching / being active. Stretching / being active makes a difference, but balance is key. So I've been doing a lot more working out and stretching and cardio here and there and kind of figuring out what works for me. And there's been phases in my life where I'm like super into it and then super not into it. But right now I'm kind of in this phase where I feel very good about the work I'm doing. And I think it's because I have a balance, because I've gone to one extreme where I am working so hard that my body is hurting like it shouldn't be hurting. And then the complete opposite, where I'm not working hard enough and my body just feels bleh. You know, like it's like I'm weak. I can't do anything. So I think over time I've just learned that balance is key, and like consistency and doing little workouts here and there and stretching and mobility. And everyone knows that, honestly, but something that I've come to learn through experience as well. 6, if it won't matter 5 years from now, then it doesn't matter. And I don't think I've ever really been the type of person to be super angry about things. And I'd like to think I'm a pretty chill person for the most part, where if someone does something, I'm like, not cool, but all right, I'm moving on with my life, whatever. But I think part of the reason why I have a little bit more of a laid back or chill mentality is because I do kind of think, okay, if this isn't going to matter 5 years from now, why am I even going to be tripping about it now? It's not worth my time. And I don't know, that kind of mentality really pushes you through moments that otherwise might anger you. 7, sometimes people come into your life temporarily, and that's all, and that's okay. And I think throughout the years, I've had friends, I've had people that I've known through school or through work that in the moment were a big part of my life. And then when I'm on to another phase in life, they kind of just didn't follow me there. And our lives no longer intertwined or crossed. And sometimes looking back, it's like, that person, like, I wonder how they're doing and hope the best for them and everything. And it's kind of sad to think that you were a different person in that time and you had these friendships and relationships with different people. And now it's like they're strangers. So it's like kind of hard to come to terms with sometimes. But I think that there is value in having fleeting friendships because they may have played a part in whatever chapter of your life they were a character in, and that friendship probably changed you for the better in some way, or at the very least helped you learn something. And yeah, so that is number 7. Sorry, I'm like, do I need glasses? God, no, I don't need glasses. I'm holding it like a 70-year-old instead of a 30-year-old. Number 8, being an adult means you have to parent yourself. So I think when everyone first enters the world on their own as a young adult, when they're no longer living with their parents, it's very exciting and you make stupid mistakes. But then as you get older, you start to realize the consequences of those mistakes, like procrastinating on something you have to work on ultimately leads you to being super stressed about things you got to work on and overwhelmed, or drinking too much alcohol ultimately leaves you to being hungover and not feeling too well. So as an adult, you just got to parent yourself and be like, hey, go to bed at 9 p.m. because you got to wake up early tomorrow. And, or like, hey, stop playing with your phone. It's not good for your eyes at nighttime or something, like you gotta be the person that's parenting yourself at some point. And it's just funny to think about it like that, but it's true. Number 9, personal development books are great so long as you implement what you learn. So I'm a huge advocate for self-help books. I freaking love personal development books, and I'm always listening to some kind of audiobook at some point or maybe reading something. And I think there are so many nuggets of information within pages of personal development books. But if you just read a bunch of books and then don't do anything, nothing's going to change. It kind of circles back to number 1, where it's like it starts in your thoughts but manifests in actions. Personal development books are kind of the tool that helps you change your thoughts. But if you don't take any action, your life isn't going to change. Number 10, it is what it is. And that's kind of my favorite phrase. Whenever something happens that isn't ideal, that I cannot change, I just say, it is what it is. It's like, okay, this is the hand I'm being dealt, and I'm just going to make it work because it is what it is. And it's honestly a phrase that I love. And that's kind of similar to the, if it doesn't matter, won't matter in 5 years, it doesn't matter now. But it's kind of my response to people when something goes wrong that isn't ideal, and if they're unhappy about it and I'm unhappy about it, I'll just go, hey, it is what it is. Like, let's do what we gotta do at that point, you know? It's a helpful phrase to have through life. And number 11, emotions are a tool to figure out what it is you want in life. So if you feel sad and depressed, that's kind of guidance from your internal navigation saying, hey, something needs to change. You're clearly not happy, and that should be a signal of I'm not living the life that I want to live, and I got to do something about it. Or if you are angry at someone, if you're angry for any particular reason, then kind of figure out what it is, what's the deep root of it, and figure out why you don't like that and how to avoid that kind of thing. Or if you're jealous of someone, jealousy, I think, is one of those weird emotions that you feel so little when you are jealous of someone because it's so petty. But really taking a step back and thinking, hey, what is it that I am jealous of? Kind of shows you, hey, I'm jealous of this quality that they have or this thing that they have because that's a quality or thing that I want to have. And I guess just using your emotions to get in tune with what it is that you want and desire from life is very useful. I guess emotional intelligence, I think that's what emotional intelligence is. Maybe I should look into it before I drop such lingo, but yeah, just using your emotions as a tool for guidance and navigation towards the life that you want to live. And let's see, number 12. Bum, bum, bum. You are the best thing that you can invest in. So with this, I mean investing in courses, investing in equipment to build skills, investing in any kind of education or learning is one of the best things that you can invest in yourself. 13. Oh, number 13. You don't have to do everything. Sometimes the best thing to do is to hire someone to do it or delegate tasks. So I think that growing up in kind of a household that struggled financially a little bit, you always kind of want to just do it yourself because you don't want to spend money to get someone else to do it, or you don't want to be a burden and make someone else do something. But as I've gotten older, I realized that, you know, sometimes someone is better at doing something than you are, and there's no way that you can learn their years of experience on the fly. So it might just be better to throw some money at the problem. And honestly, obviously, like if you don't have the money to throw at the problem, then hey, sometimes DIY is the best way to go. But if you do, it might be the best thing to do. 14. You can put energy towards complaining, or you can put energy towards solutions. So I think when I was probably 24, 25, maybe, I think 20 or like 22, fresh out of college, barely making any money because my job sucked. I remember just whining about it, being like, ew, the system is against me. I can't make money because the government, blah, blah, blah. And being very like, wah, and not putting effort towards getting a new job. So I think moments like that, I'm looking back like, come on, little Angela, put your big girl panties on and get a new freaking job. That's what I would tell little 22-year-old me if I could right now. But that's something that I've learned over time is sometimes you can put energy towards complaining, or you could put energy towards solutions, and solutions are going to be way more productive. So number 15, halfway through. Hope you're enjoying this so far. If you are, don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you are new here. And yeah, welcome to the Voyager Club. Number 15, when you say yes to one thing, you are saying no to another. And I think I know this is true, and I'm still coming to terms with it because I am the yes man type of person where someone says, hey, want to do this? I'm like, yeah, heck yeah, I want to do this. And I try to figure out how to do it all, which honestly is leading me to be overwhelmed. And I'm starting to learn that, hey, if I say yes to one thing, then I'm saying no to another thing. So I got to be picky with what I say yes to. And that's number 15. Number 16. This kind of correlates with number 15, but time is your most valuable resource. And I think this also goes back to the one about hiring and delegating tasks. It's like sometimes if you're wasting time, you are wasting something that you just can't get back, because every single day that goes by is a day that you cannot get back. You're aging at every moment, and time is freaking valuable, and how you spend your time really dictates how your life will feel and how your life will play out. So valuing your time is extremely important. 17. Cats are awesome. I had to throw that in there just because I have 2 cats. Freaking love them. I think growing up, I always had a lot of animals and a lot of pets. And I always thought I was a dog person until I got my cat Nova as a young adult. And now I have Nova and Goku, and I think they're freaking awesome because they're super low maintenance. They are pretty agile and little athletes, and they are super affectionate as well and smart, and they can learn tricks, and they're just little joys to be around, and they come naturally potty trained. All I had to do straight from bringing my cat home was show her, hey, this is where you go to the restroom, and she was like, got it, dude. Thanks for looking out. And that was it. We had one conversation about it, and she's been fine since. So cats are awesome. Number 18. Everyone is living in their own first person POV reality. And I think for this one, it's kind of fun to think about, because when you look at your arms and like look around, this is a first-person POV video game when you think about it, and everyone is living in their own version of it. And I'm a strong believer in how your world interacts with you, and what experiences you have really dictate how your mind works and what opinions are formed and stuff like that. So people are living in their own realities based on their own experiences, and you just got to be aware of that and realize that your experiences are different than other people. And there's something beautiful about that. And even though sometimes you may butt heads because of it, you can also learn a lot because of it. Number 19. This one's kind of sad, because the way I learned this lesson was pretty sad. So life can change in an instant, for better or for worse. And I'm starting to like tear up a little bit, because this lesson came to me in my life when my dad passed away, because it happened so suddenly and my whole freaking world got flipped upside down. I moved from LA back to my hometown. At the same time, COVID was going on, so I lost my LA job, and it was just like, whoop, total shift in realities. And life be like that though. Like, if you're in a horrible position in life right now, it can change in an instant once you get a job or something like that. It's crazy how quickly things can change. But in the moment, you don't really think about it. Like, you don't realize, I guess, like as you're doing that grinding, applying for jobs, like waiting for the one that's going to listen to you, or really going for opportunities and waiting for the one that'll stick. The grind is hard, but then once it changes, your life changes so quick. And yeah, so that is a lesson that I've learned. And number 20. 20 is like something I've noticed in other people and have learned to check with myself. So if you're easily flattered, you're easily fooled. So if people are telling you, oh my God, you're so smart, you're so great at this, it's like, cool, thanks. Like, but validation is great and everything, but if you are the type of person that feeds off of validation, you can be easily taken advantage of, because someone could be like, oh my God, you are so great at doing this thing. Can you do it for me for free? And you're like, thanks for the compliment. Yes. So, things like that, or just not letting your head get inflated by compliments, and not letting that let people have a certain control over you. I think that's something that I've learned over time, just like by observing, because I don't think I've had that issue too badly. At least I don't think so. Maybe I'm just so blind to it that I don't even stand a chance. But yeah, something I've learned. What number am I on? Oh, number 21. Happiness is not a constant state. And yeah, that's, it sucks. Like, because I think a lot of people are going through it nowadays. At least that's what I've noticed. Like, a lot of people in my circle are very exhausted, tired, kind of sad, and kind of just trying to make the best of what they got. And sometimes when you're seeing a bunch of different things on social media, you start to think that everyone else is happy and you're not. What is wrong with you? But I think coming to the realization that happiness is fleeting and it's not a constant state, it's impossible to be constantly happy. I think that's very comforting, because not only does it make happiness this like beautiful thing that is fleeting and you experience it and then it's gone. So when you do experience it, it's great. But it also makes you realize that the less happy moments where you're kind of just neutral are normal. And that's life. Life isn't a constant freaking gumdrop. 22. Stupid decisions are the ones that impact not only you, but your loved ones. So you can make stupid decisions in life. You know, sometimes you gotta take risks. Sometimes you gotta learn lessons by making stupid mistakes. But if you make a stupid mistake that hurts you and the people you love, then maybe you've taken it too far, you know? So I think that's kind of something to keep in mind as you're making a decision, or you're thinking, I'm going to do this. Who cares about the consequences? It's like, yo, how is this going to impact everyone else? Think about that first. If it's just impacting you, okay, whatever, like go for it. Take that risk. But if you're bringing other people into it, you should think twice. Number 23, the should have, could have, would have mentality is a bad mentality to have. So it's kind of like living in the past and thinking about all the things that you could have done differently or should have done differently, and all those what ifs. I made a little video about it somewhere, but you gotta just let go of it, because if something is already sealed in the past and you can't go back and change it, just focus on what you can currently change in the present / future. So shoulda, coulda, woulda. Who cares what you shoulda, coulda, woulda? Like, it's not gonna do you any good thinking about it, to be honest. Unless you're coming to a point in life where it's repeating and you think back, hey, what did I do back then that I should have done? And then you get a chance to do it differently. Number 24, being 5 minutes early is being on time. That is something I heard a long time ago at some kind of like etiquette class or something that was like, being 5 minutes early is being on time. And you think, okay, punctuality, cool. But honestly, I feel like when I arrive somewhere and I'm 5 minutes early, I can get there, I can relax, and I'm ready to go once things get started. And yeah, so being 5 minutes early comes in clutch, and I always feel better about the day ahead of me when I show up a little bit early. However, this does not apply to parties, because dude, it sucks being the first one at a party, and that happens to me all the time too. Yeah. Parties, you could be 30 minutes late or an hour late and it's cool, but if you show up to a party and you're 5 minutes early, you're going to be the only one there and helping people set up chips and balloons and stuff, and you're like, hey, how are you? Who's coming? And it's just really, really awkward small talk that can be avoided by being late. 25. Everyone is just trying their best. So I think when you're a kid, you kind of look up to older people thinking, you got it all figured out, don't you? But then as you get older, you're like, what the hell? I don't know anything. What's happening. And I think that's just everyone. No one knows what they're doing. They're just all trying their best. At my old job, one of my coworkers' kids sold cookie dough, right? And one year I bought like $70 worth of cookie dough from their little fundraiser sale. And I had a realization. I was like, I remember when I was a kid and someone bought a lot of cookie dough, I was like, wow, that person must be rich. But now I'm realizing that they're probably just irresponsible. Because I was like, I don't need $70 worth of cookie dough, but dang, these cookies are pretty good. So yeah, and no regrets though. The cookies were phenomenal. And yeah, everyone's just trying their best. No one knows what they're doing. 26. The most important thing you can learn is how to manage your finances. The earlier that you start and the more serious you take it earlier on, the better off you will be because of it. Because if I could go back to little 20-year-old Angela or freaking fresh out of high school 18-year-old Angela, I would say, hey, you should take a class about managing your finances and get that shit together because you know nothing about it and you're about to enter the real world, girl. Managing your finances, super important, because even though I hate it when people are like, money doesn't matter, blah, 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 there's more important things in life. It's like, yeah, that's true. Like my loved ones, I wouldn't trade my cat for $10 million, much less someone I love for $10 million. There are more important things in life than money. However, managing your finances really impact your stress levels, and it's important. It's super important. Number 27, kind of in regards to this being an election year, don't want to get all political on anyone, but you can understand where someone is coming from without having to agree with them. I feel like we all see it in the media, a lot of us versus them, and a lot of loud minorities kind of calling the shots and making everyone seem angry. But I think for the most part, most people that I meet are pretty in the middle and not extreme on any political spectrum or whatever. But I think it's important to realize that you can have understanding and compassion towards someone who has an opposing view than you and still not have to agree with them. Like you can be like, I see where you're coming from and you make these good points. I just have this opinion and these points, and this is the side that I fall onto. But I don't know. I think sometimes people get all riled up and angry, and it's like, yo, it's not that big of a deal. Chill. People can understand or like have different opinions, and it's all gravy, you know? So I don't know. That was just something that I've learned over time. It's like, I guess a lot of my things are, hey, it's not that big of a deal, so just chill. That's like the biggest thing. The biggest thing about being 30 years old. I don't care anymore. No, I'm just kidding. All right, moving on. Number 28 is one of the most important skills that you can have is social skills / networking skills. So your ability to connect to someone on a human level can really get you far in life. And I've seen it time and time again in my 30 years on this planet, where I have been very communicative and able to talk to people. And because I am a little social butterfly and will interact with fellow humans, I've been chosen for promotions and stuff like that. So I think having social skills is extremely important no matter what job path you are trying to go on. Humans are going to be something you have to deal with. And if you are socially awkward or an introvert who freaking hates talking to people, it's something that maybe you should try to work to overcome. You don't have to be an extreme extrovert, but just learn how to make small talk and get to know someone, because you never know where that someone might see an opportunity for you and connect the dots. And it could be like that for promotions. It could be like that for just business practices, getting word of mouth that, hey, like this photographer is really cool and chill. I'm going to go tell my friends about them because they're really cool and chill. Stuff like that. Number 29, you live many lives in one. So what I mean by this is, you know, the phrase YOLO, you only live once. Okay, whatever. You live many lives within the one life that you have, because think about it. 12-year-old me, I don't even remember being 12-year-old me. I kind of do, but she was a whole different person. And same with 17-year-old me, same with 21-year-old me, 25-year-old me, now 30-year-old me. I'm a whole different person than I was years ago, and I'll be a whole different person years from now. So you are living multiple lives in one. You have different phases and different chapters, and you can become a different person in any of those phases and chapters. So just become a better person. And yeah, number 30, last but not least, only listen to the advice of those who are living a life that you want to live. So I thought it was appropriate to end this video with that, because you can take everything that I just said with a grain of freaking salt. If you don't think that you want to live the life that I'm currently living, then dude, just don't listen to me. But no, for reals, a lot of the times if I am working on something that has to do with my business, there have been people that try to give me advice of like, hey, you should do this, or hey, you should do that. But they're not photographers and they don't own a photography business. So I take it with a grain of salt. Like, hey, that's a great idea. Awesome. But I'm like, you know, like how valuable is someone's advice if they don't have experience in what you're doing? And that's something that I think about a lot when someone gives me advice. If someone does own their own business, or someone else is a photographer and they're like, hey, this is work for me, I'm like, ears up, listening, fully engulfed, like, okay, you know what you're talking about and you're living the life that I want to live. So I'm going to take this advice seriously and I'm going to remember this. Not to say that I don't take other people's advices seriously. Like, I'll listen to them, I'll give it some thought, but I'll also reflect on where they're at and whether or not they have the experience that I need to have in order to get where I want to get. So yeah, that is it. That is the end of this video. I hope it wasn't too long. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. And until next time, bye. Also, if you're thinking about what to get me for my birthday, you can just give me a thumbs up and a comment, and I will greatly appreciate it. Thanks.